Welcome to Mlc Tv News, reaching you live from city of Lokoja, Kogi State. I am Fatima Yakub. The headlines: Federal government pledges improved funding to NDA. Task cadets to be valuable Nigerians. Chris Isiguzo gets second term as NUJ President with 666 votes. Nigeria Central Bank to launch digital currency within days. Now the news in detail. The Vice President, Professor Yemi Osibanjo, has restated the federal government's commitment to sustaining the tempo of funding the infrastructural development in the educational sector. This is contained in a statement signed by Mohammed Abdul Kader, Special Assistant to the Minister of Defense on Media and Publicity, and a copy made available to journalists. Abdul Kader quoted Professor Osibanjo as having stated this in a message to the 31st convocation ceremony of the Nigerian Defense Academy, NDA, Kaduna, in honor of the cadets of the 68 regular course held at the Academy Auditorium. The Vice President, who was special guest of honor at the ceremony, was represented by the Minister of Defense, Major General Bashir Salihu Magishi, retired, who doubles as the chairman NDA Council. Osibanjo said the present administration of President Muhammadu Buhari had invested vital resources in meeting globally acceptable standards in all facets of education, economy and polity. While appreciating the enviable status of the NDA as the foremost military university and a great citadel of learning in sub-Saharan Africa, he tasked the leadership of the institution to accord prior attention to the teaching of modern military science. He appealed to Nigerians to renew hope in Nigeria, adding that great nations never succumb to momentary challenges such as social upheavals, religious intolerance, and economic hardship facing the country. The Commandant, NDA, Major General Ibrahim Manu Yusuf, said the institution had made remarkable and sustainable academic progress and infrastructural transformation since its establishment in 1964. General Yusuf vouched for the cadets and other graduates, pointing out that they were well equipped with requisite knowledge and good character to navigate the turbulence of life and to contribute their quota to nation building. The Onu of Ampa and Chairman Ampa Local Government Traditional Council, Kogi State, His Royal Highness Abdul Malik Umar, has commended Governor Yahya Bello for his unprecedented achievements in infrastructural development in the Eastern Senatorial District of the state. Umar made the commendation when the Forum of Special Advisors to Governor Yahya Bello paid a courtesy visit to the paramount ruler in Ampa in continuation of the GYB Legacy Projects tour to the Eastern Senatorial District of the state. The forum had recently embarked on inspection tour to some executed and ongoing projects across 3 senatorial districts of the state, aimed at projecting GYB's unprecedented achievements in all sectors, especially infrastructural development, to the world. According to Umar, Yahya Bello, an Ibiraman, has made Ampa better than it was because of the construction and completion of the Ampa Township roads, Ampa Abejukolu Road, and several other laudable achievements the governor has recorded in the last 6 years in Igalaland. The paramount ruler described Governor Bello as a detribalized leader who possessed all the qualities to lead Nigeria and whose leadership would promote development of Kogi State if elected as President of Nigeria. The Central Bank of Nigeria will launch the e-Naira, its digital currency, in a couple of days from now. According to reports gathered, Governor Godwin Emefiele said this would make Nigeria one of the first countries in Africa, and indeed the globe, to adopt the digitalization of its national currency. The CBN had announced plans to launch its own digital currency this year, after Nigeria barred banks and financial institutions from dealing in or facilitating transactions in cryptocurrencies in February. Emefiele had previously said the e-Naira would operate as a wallet against which customers could hold existing funds in their bank accounts, and that this would accelerate financial inclusion and enable cheaper and faster remittance inflows. The Supreme Court on Thursday in Abuja reserved a ruling on a motion by Union Bank Plc seeking, among others, leave to appeal against the June 5, 2008 judgment of the Court of Appeal in which the bank and 3 others were ordered to pay an oil and gas firm, Petro Union Limited, about $15 billion A five-member panel of the Apex Court, led by Justice Musa Datijo Mohammed, after listening to arguments by lawyers to parties, said they would be informed when the ruling is ready. Union Bank's lawyer, Adeboyega Awomolo SAN, while arguing the motion, said it contains 9 reliefs, among which was an order for leave for extension of time to file appeal and another order for leave to appeal under Order 6 Rule 21 of the Supreme Court's rules. Awomolo said his client seeks to raise fresh grounds of appeal and introduce new evidence necessary for a fair and just determination of the court. He noted that it was strange that while the judgment of the Federal High Court Abuja delivered on March 11, 2014 and the subsequent one by the Court of Appeal which affirmed the Federal High Court judgment were based on a £2.556 billion cheque alleged lodged in Union Bank by Petro Union, the said cheque was never tendered in court. Awomolo said his client intends to show that Petro Union obtained both judgments by fraud. He noted that the Petro Union's lawyer, Joe Gazama SAN, was only opposed to the grant of relief 4 and 6 out of the 9 reliefs. He urged the court to disregard the objection raised by the Petro Union against its motion and prayed the court to grant his motion on the merits. Olabisi Soyebo SAN for the Central Bank of Nigeria and Tijani Ghazali SAN for Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Finance did not object to Union Bank's motion. Soyebo and Ghazali, who said they did not file any process in relation to the motion, urged the court to grant it in view of the colossal amount involved and its possible implication on the nation's economy. Gazama, in his response, said he vehemently opposed the motion factually and in law. He urged that the court uphold the objection he raised and dismiss the motion on the grounds that Union Bank has not given valid and cogent reasons why leave should be granted. On June 5, 2018, the Court of Appeal, Abuja, gave judgment in the appeal by Union Bank and upheld the judgment by Justice Kafarati. It is yet to determine the appeal by the CBN. A final list of candidates for the Anambra governorship election has been released by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. National Commissioner and Chairman, Information and Voter Education Committee, Festus Okoye, who made the announcement on Thursday, October 7th, said 18 registered political parties will be participating in the election. Okoye also revealed that the INEC will be holding an emergency consultative meeting with the leadership of all registered political parties in Abuja. The INEC commissioner further assured the people of the state of the commission's resolve to secure a safe environment that will enable them to vote. He said, in line with the timetable and schedule of activities for the election released on 19th of January 2021, the Commission has implemented 2 additional activities. The final register of voters for the Anambra State governorship election was presented to the 18 registered political parties participating in the election at the headquarters of the Commission in Awka, Anambra State. Furthermore, the Commission released the final list of candidates for the election and has pasted same in the State Office of the Commission in Awka, Anambra State. The list has also been uploaded to the Commission's website and social media platforms. The federal government has backed the possibility of the imposition of a state of emergency in Anambra State if violence keeps evolving in the state. This was to expatiate a statement issued by the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, on the possibility of declaring a state of emergency in Anambra State. In the same vein, the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, during a media briefing in Abuja, noted that Malami's position was to avert a constitutional crisis in the state. Mohammed says no government would fold its arms and allow the pillar of democracy to be destroyed. He noted that those who are criticizing the AGF on this, if they have their thought for 1 minute what will happen if the election does not take place in Anambra State on November 6th, and that they should bear in mind that, under the Constitution, a governor cannot spend an extra day beyond a mandate of 4 years. What will happen will be a constitutional crisis of immense proportion. The Federal University Lokoja has appointed Professor Mike Ogrima as the pioneer provost of her College of Health Sciences to kickstart his responsibilities in the institution. Professor Ogrima shall be the coordinator and chairman of the steering committee for the establishment of the college in the university. The professor of orthopedics and trauma surgery hails from Okene local government area of Kogi State. Ogirima is also a former national chairman of the Nigerian Medical Association. The perjury case filed against the president of ECOWAS court and two other staffs of the commission, Francisca Uzoamaka Ofo and Tony Anene Meido, has been struck out as the Federal High Court in Abuja declined jurisdiction of the court on the matter. The hearing of the case, which was to commence yesterday at the Federal High Court, was short-lived as Justice Ekpo declined jurisdiction based on the preliminary objections filed to challenge the suit. According to him, since the issue is related to employment, the National Industrial Court is well positioned to handle their case. Hence, he advised the plaintiff to approach the Industrial Court. The case has since been struck out for lack of jurisdiction. You're still watching MLC TV News. We'll be right back.
Mlc TV Online is here. For your timely and reliable news that reaches you fast with the breaking news, choose MLC TV.
Welcome back. The 7th Terrennial Delegates Conference of the Nigeria Union of Journalists (NUJ) has elected Chris Isiguzo for a second term in office as president. Isiguzo on Thursday, 7th October, polled 665 votes to defeat his opponent Yusuf Idris from Kaduna State Council of NUJ, who scored 15 votes. The returning officer, Mr. Joe Ajaero, said that 704 delegates were accredited for the election, which took place at the Opera Auditorium, Umuahia. Ajaero, who is the Deputy President of the Nigerian Labour Congress, said there were 934 registered delegates, adding that 22 votes were voided. The news agency of Nigeria, NAN, who covered the proceedings, reports that 4 other members of Isiguzo's team were returned unopposed in an election that was generally peaceful. The elected candidates include Alhassan Abdullahi, National Deputy President, Dele National Treasurer, Samuel Dada, National Financial Secretary, and Ladi Emmanuel, National Internal Auditor. The chairman of Yaba West Local Government Council, Pius Kolawole, has presided over an expanded security meeting held at the local government secretariat, Odoere. The meeting was part of the renewed effort of the chairman to brainstorm with relevant stakeholders on how to further improve the security situation, prevent crime and criminalities in Yaba West. During the meeting, Kolawole said it has become imperative due to the prevalent security situation in the country, and most importantly, the recent attacks and kidnappings in some parts of the state. The council boss pointed out that security is everyone's business, hence the need to come out together and put measures in place that will nip crimes and criminalities in the bud. According to him, the meeting was to review the security situation within and around the local government with a view to charting the way forward to prevent any unforeseen circumstances. The chairman commended the governor of Kogi State, Yaya Bello, for his notable effort at ensuring that lives and property are safe and secure across the state. The meeting, which was largely attended, has in attendance traditional rulers, community development association leaders, management staff of the local government, elected and appointed political office holders, security officers, and all concerned stakeholders across the various communities of Yaba West local government area. A 44-year Muhammad Aliyu has been arrested for defiling a 9-year-old girl. Muhammad Aliyu, who is a family member of the minor, stayed in Okene local government area, where the girl child was deceived into the room with an impression of going to meet her uncle for good. The group, the Namike Friends Club, who took care of the minor at the hospital, caught the perpetrator and sent him to the police headquarters, Lokoja, for questioning and proper investigation. The coordinator and member said the girl child must receive justice and the offender is made to face the full wrath of the law.
All we can do is to call on sister organizations to actually come to the aid of the society. If we really want to achieve much, we need to put in so much. If not, most of the victims of crimes either will continue not to get justice or they will be re-victimized for them to get justice.
Looking forward to organizing a symposium to sensitize our people on the effects of drug abuse and girl child molestation, and we're looking at bringing all critical stakeholders on board, like the religious leaders, the opinion leaders, traditional rulers, even other sisters organizations, in order to curb this menace in our society.
Investigation from the first headquarters commenced immediately. According to the IPO, by tomorrow they will be going to the scene of acts where the issue happened, in Adavi local government. The very Saturday that this issue happened. And we swing into action because it's one of our cardinal points. And seeing that girls' molestation and drug abuse come to pattern of past, we swing into action by taking the girl to the General Hospital Okene for medical attention, and we went to the police station to arrest the culprit.
The mother of the child said her daughter became a victim when she left to do many jobs to make a living for the day. The mother of the victim, who expressed herself in a Ibira dialect, called for justice for her daughter. The Mlc Tv promised to follow up on the case to the letter by providing information made available by the State Police Command as the court proceedings take place next week. The vigilante group of Shetima has apprehended Ibrahim Ilubio for theft of property in Shetima and neighboring communities at Adavi local government area of Kogi State. The suspect, Ibrahim Ilubio, confessed that he hails from Okedayo in Kababunu local government area, but a resident of Zangodaji. He was caught by the vigilante operatives in the early hours of today. When interrogated, he confessed to be an ND2 computer science student of Kogi State Polytechnic, Lokoja. He also confessed to be a member of robbery group who have been stealing and terrorizing the Shetima area and neighboring communities. The commander of the vigilante group of the area, Godwin Isa, who took custody of the thief, promised to hand him over to the police for further investigation. He assures the residents that the security of lives and property will always be their priority. Borno State Governor Professor Babagana Zulum, alongside humanitarian partners, were in Banki above the town on Thursday, 7th of October, where 84 million naira was distributed to 2,200 families who returned after fleeing from insurgent attacks. The funds is to enable the families engaged in trading for their livelihoods and to contribute towards reviving Banki's economy. During the visit, municipal offices that include immigration, customs, and police posts towards restoration of civil authorities were commissioned. The livelihood support and municipal office projects were executed by the Borno State government through the UNDP's Regional Stabilization Facility. Zulum's visit to Banki was alongside to the UNDP's Resident Coordinator in Nigeria, Mohammed Yahya, UN Resident Humanitarian Coordinator in Nigeria, Edward Callan, Director General for Africa at the German Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ms. Heike Thiele, Norwegian Ambassador to Nigeria, Mr. Lane Eliv, among other humanitarian partners. Governor Zulum moved to Banki after a multi-stakeholder meeting attended by 8 governors within the Lake Chad. Officials of the Lake Chad Basin Commission, multinational forces, among others, which held in Yaoundé, with focus on security cooperation, stability, and economic recovery in the Lake Chad region. Banki is a commercial town in Bama local government area, which shares border with Cameroon. The town was sacked by Boko Haram back in 2014, and Zulum, who had been there at different times, has been making efforts to resuscitate the town with hundreds of shelters now built for returnees. The UN Assistant Secretary General commended Governor Babagana Zulum for his leadership and commitment in efforts to restore normalcy. Now on foreign news, Maria Ressa and Dmitry Muratov, journalists whose work has angered the rulers of the Philippines and Russia, were awarded the Nobel Peace Prize on Friday. An award the committee said was an endorsement of free speech rights under threat worldwide. The two were awarded for their courageous fight for freedom of expression in their countries. Chairwoman Berit Reiss-Andersen of the Norwegian Nobel Committee told a news conference. At the same time, they are representatives of all journalists who stand up for this idea in a world in which democracy and freedom of press face increasingly adverse conditions. Free, independent, and fact-based journalism serves to protect against abuse of power, lies, and war propaganda. Muratov is the editor-in-chief of Russian investigative newspaper Novaya Gazeta, which has defied the Kremlin under President Vladimir Putin with probes into wrongdoing and corruption, and extensively covered the conflicts in Ukraine. When interviewed 6 years ago, his office was across the hall from portraits of 6 Novaya Gazeta journalists killed since 2001, including Anna Politkovskaya, known for her fearless reporting on Russia's wars in Chechnya, who was shot dead in her stairwell on Putin's birthday in 2006. Muratov, who is 59-year-old, is the first Russian to win the Nobel Peace Prize since Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev, who himself helped set up Novaya Gazeta with the money he received from winning the award in 1990. Ressa, who is 58 years, is the first Nobel Peace Laureate from the Philippines. She heads Rappler, a digital media company, which she co-founded in 2012 and which has grown prominent through investigative reporting, including into large-scale killings during a police campaign against drugs. The prize is the first Nobel Peace Prize for journalists since the German Carl von Osseke won it in 1935 for revealing his country's secret post-war rearmament program. In August, a Philippine court dismissed a libel case against Ressa, one of the several lawsuits filed against the journalist, who says she has been targeted because of her news site critical reports on President Rodrigo Duterte. The plight of Ressa, one of several journalists named Time magazine Person of the Year in 2018 for fighting media intimidation, has raised international concern about the harassment of media in the Philippines, a country once seen as a standard bearer for press freedom in Asia. In Moscow, Nadezhda Prusenkova, a journalist at Novaya Gazeta, told reporters that staff were surprised and delighted. The head of the Nobel Committee, Reiss-Andersen, said the committee had decided to send a message about the importance of rigorous journalism at a time when technology has made it easier than ever to spread falsehoods. It was also a way to shine a light on the difficult situations for journalists, specifically under the leadership in Russia and the Philippines, she added. The award will give both journalists greater international visibility and may inspire a new generation of journalists, said Dan Smith, director of the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute. Small numbers of U.S. Special Operations Forces have been rotated into Taiwan on a temporary basis to train with Taiwanese forces, two sources familiar with the matter said on Thursday, speaking on condition of anonymity. The Pentagon, which historically has not disclosed details about U.S. training or advising the Taiwan forces, did not specifically comment on or confirm the deployment. Asked about reports on U.S. troops, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Zhao Lijian said that the United States should cease military ties and arms sales to Taiwan to avoid damaging bilateral relations. He said China will take all necessary measures to protect its sovereignty and territorial integrity. China sees Taiwan as a wayward province and has not ruled out taking the island by force. Taiwan says it is an independent country and will defend its democracy and freedom. The sources declined to say how long the training had been going on, but suggested it predated the Biden administration, which came into office in January. Republican Senator Tom Tillis, who is on the Senate Armed Service Committee, told the same event he had not been made specifically aware and had only seen public reports, but added actually he would be happier if the number was in hundreds. The United States is Taiwan's largest supplier of weaponry and has long offered some degree of training on weapon system as well as detailed advice on ways to strengthen its military guard against the invasion by China People's Liberation Army. Chinese military aircraft have repeatedly flown in recent days through Taiwan's expansive air defense identification zone, which extends well outside Taiwan's airspace. But China has avoided Taiwanese airspace. No shots have been fired, and there have been no known close calls between Chinese and Taiwanese aircraft. The Taiwanese government has denounced China's military exercises and says it will defend the island freedom and democracy, insisting that only Taiwan's people can decide their future. The U.S. Senate has voted to temporarily raise the nation's debt limit, avoiding a historic default that experts say would have devastated the economy. Senators agreed to increase the limit by $480 billion, which will cover the U.S. until early December. The bill was approved in a 50-48 vote following weeks of partisan fighting. The breakthrough came less than 2 weeks before the U.S. was said to be unable to borrow money or pay off loans for the first time ever. The bill now has to be approved by the House of Representatives and will then be sent to President Joe Biden to be signed into law. The vote in the upper house of Congress came after Republican Senate leader Mitch McConnell offered his support for a short-term extension. Senate Republicans have previously said that raising the debt limit is the sole responsibility of Democrats because they hold power in the White House and both chambers of Congress. They are frustrated by new spending proposals the Democrats are trying to push through without Republican support, and McConnell tweeted last month that his party would not facilitate another reckless partisan taxing and spending spree. Speaking after the vote, the Democrat Senate Majority Leader, Chuck Schumer, said Republicans had played a dangerous and risky partisan game. He said what is needed now is a long-term solution so they don't go through the risky drama every few months. But several senior Republicans attacked McConnell's decision to strike a deal with Schumer. South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham called the move a complete capitulation. U.S. lawmakers will still have to address this issue near the new December deadline to avert a default. If the U.S. defaults on debt, experts say it will severely hurt the country's credit rating, plunge the global financial system into turmoil, and possibly lead to a self-inflicted recession. Now to Aliyu Nasser on sports today. On entertainment, Matthias Ayodeji, over to you.
The much-awaited boxing bout between two heavyweights, Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, comes up this Saturday at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Few days to this bout, tagged Fury-Wilder trilogy fight, the two heavyweight boxers were entangled in a heated dispute and of war of words. Meanwhile, other heavyweight undercards are also lined up before the main event. Nigerian Efe Ajaba faced Frank Sanchez in a WBC heavyweight continental fight. Matches were played across the continents over the weekend. In Africa, the Super Eagles of Nigeria lost to Central African Republic by a lone goal. Malawi lost to Cote d'Ivoire by 3 goals to nothing. Angola takes on Gabon. Cameroon takes on Mozambique, while Algeria plays Niger. Djibouti and Burkina Faso will face each other, while Egypt plays Libya. Other matches in Europe for the World Cup qualifier. Latvia will meet Netherlands, while Germany take on Romania. Wales will tackle Czech Republic, while Cyprus take on Croatia. Turkey on Norway. Meanwhile, earlier this morning, South America World Cup qualifier, Paraguay and Argentina played a 0-0 draw, while Venezuela lost to Brazil by a goal to 3. Cristiano Ronaldo was named the Player of the Month for September in the Premier League, while Mikel Arteta of Arsenal was named as the Coach of the Month in September. This is Sports Update. I'm Aliu Nasir, reporting for Mlc TV.
On entertainment news today, Actors Guild of Nigeria President react to Chiwetala Agu's arrest, said he shouldn't have worn the Biafran outfit. Emeka Rollas, the president of the Actors Guild of Nigeria, has reacted to the recent arrest of moving veteran Chiwetala Agu. The AGN president expressed his disapproval over the actor's decision to don the Biafran flag outfit. He said, "I don't know why he put on Biafran regalia. The state is hot. We are in talks with the military official to ensure his release. I heard they've taken him to 82 Division of the Nigerian military base. We will do our best." The army later released a statement where it revealed that the actor was arrested for inciting members of the public and soliciting for support for the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra IPOB. Still on the Chiwetala Agu's case, Nigerian army explained reasons for Chiwetala Agu's arrest. The statement further stated that although Chiwetala Agu attempted putting up resistance when troops made effort to take him into custody, he was not assaulted or subjected to brutalization. The army said Agu is in its custody for further investigation. It will be recalled that the movie veteran was assaulted by men of the Nigerian army on Tuesday after he was spotted wearing a Biafran flag outfit. Matthias Ayodeji Peter reporting for Mlc TV. Back to our caster for more stories.
On entertainment, Matthias Ayodeji, over to you.
Thank you, Aliu and Matthias, for the updates on sports and entertainment. For your sponsorship and advert placement, call the numbers displayed on your screen. Please do like and subscribe to our social media handles. Our Facebook page is Mlc TV, Instagram Mlc TV 2021, and YouTube channel Mlc Tv. I am Fatima Yakub. Thanks for staying with us.